Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Nantucket School Committee meeting of Tuesday, March 10th. This is our first hybrid meeting. There it is. Thank you, Katie, for making that happen. It's wonderful. And so therefore, this is also being audio and video recorded. And there's a Zoom link to participate. So I would like to call the meeting to order, and you have before you an agenda. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I'll now open the floor for public comment. Seeing none.
If I may, there are no attendees requesting public comment right now online.
Oh, great. And there we are. Okay, thank you. So then that we will move to the superintendent's update.
Great. Okay, good evening, everyone. We'll start with student enrollment. Let me just here. We're going to start with student enrollment. Our enrollment for March has remained exactly the same as February, 1,654 students. There have been some minor changes at each school. At NES, we lost 3 students. At NIS, there is no change. For CPS, there have been 2 additional students, and at NHS, 1 less student, so 1 fewer student. Our enrollment is kind of hovering around 1,654. We heard from the commissioner recently that the population of the state is going down. We are seeing enrollment definitely decreasing across districts in the state. So what I would expect is that we might see continued decrease, but we never know. So that's where we are right now. Okay. All right. In late February, I was able to attend the AASA conference, the National Superintendent's Conference in Nashville, Tennessee. The theme for 2026 was "The Future is Ready," and it focused on AASA's new public education promise, which represents a crucial redesign of public school education. And there are 5 guiding principles. The first is prioritize student-centered learning, meaning our children only get one chance at a K-12 education, so let's make it right. The second is the new basics, real skills for real life. Our children need to learn how to think critically, solve problems, and work well with others, and develop resilience and regulate their emotions. Attract, hire, retain, and reward the best people, meaning talented, motivated, and highly effective educators are essential to student success. Build highly engaged families, community, and business partnerships. Students succeed when families, schools, businesses, and philanthropic and community leaders work together as an engaged alliance. And finally, measure what matters. Using a variety of relevant measures is important to provide a more comprehensive picture of students' abilities and readiness for work and life. So this was the focus of the conference. I attended several sessions on hiring and retention, the importance of current data in decision-making, humanizing the superintendency, leading with heart, and building one-to-one communications with everyone in your district. The keynote speakers were excellent, very engaging, and it's always helpful to be surrounded by other superintendents and district leaders facing some of the same challenges that I face. So thank you very much for allowing me this opportunity. I look forward to future conferences. I want to tell you a little bit about the Commissioner Martinez. We have a new Commissioner of Education, Pedro Martinez. Not the baseball player. He comes from Chicago, and he is visiting all of the superintendent roundtables around the state. So he visited the Old Colony Regional Roundtable, which includes Cape and Islands and South Coast superintendents. I wanted to share some of the things that he discussed with us at the meeting. This was Wednesday. The first is that the Massachusetts Secretary of Education has transitioned from Patrick Tutwiler. He has moved on to another position, and we now have a new Secretary of Education, Dr. Stephen Zreike Jr., who was a superintendent in Salem, Holyoke, and Wakefield districts. So he is excited to take on his new role as the Massachusetts Secretary of Education. I'm sure we'll be meeting him at a future meeting. The commissioner shared some priority updates that he is looking at as in his first year in the role. One is accelerating achievement. He wants to partner with superintendents and really learn what the needs are in the field, which communities are struggling, and how to align resources across districts. He shared information about his statewide graduation council. You've heard us talk about this before and some of the changes that have been brought forward. These are advisory committees that are helping to get feedback around the portrait of a Massachusetts graduate. The superintendent and district input is very important. So this council will be finalizing a report that they will be giving in June of 2026, and the report will be include how to begin work on implementing the final recommendations. There is a survey that can be filled out. So if you are interested, please email me and I will forward you the survey that you can fill out. Another area of priority for Commissioner Martinez is literacy. He shared that 15 districts are participating in the PRISM grant, PRISM 1, and 32 districts are participating in PRISM 2. And I'm happy to say that we are also part of those districts that are participating in these grants. Federal funding update. This is a little less happy. These are our title grants. No title grants were consolidated or eliminated for FY27, which is great. Everybody was level funded. However, the amounts are varied based on census data. And since we see our census data a little bit lower, we will see a reduction. We did find out that Title I, which focuses on socioeconomic need, the United States Education Department indicated that there would be a 10% drop in Massachusetts' share of the national poverty level from 1.45 to 1.31. So we will have a significant decrease in Title I money coming in. Title I is what we use particularly for our summer school. So we will do our best to still make things whole with our operating budget. So the Department of Education will be providing data to districts in March with a warning chart that projects potential reductions. Like I said, we're a small district. We receive a small amount for Title I. It's approximately, I think next year's allocation is around 131,000. So I think we will, like I said, I think that's still enough for us to be comfortably able to support our Title I programs and staff. Commissioner Martinez also talked about immigration guidance. The Department of Education has hosted a Know Your Rights update webinar, which I did attend on February 26th. There were a lot of important reminders about protocols and procedures and how to support immigrant students and families. One of the most important pieces that he shared was the importance of caregiver affidavits. When children and families can give an attestation around an additional person or persons that could become a caregiver for a child. This is very important, particularly if there is any ICE activity and a parent may be removed. So having a caregiver affidavit is important, and schools are able to house documents like caregiver affidavits so that we can check in with people if we need to. Another thing that I'm excited about is that there are going to be some alternative licensure pathways. There have been some changes to licensure pathways. I don't know all of the details, but there is a vote that will be happening in the March 2026 Board of Education meeting coming up. And it will focus on vocational licensures, which are really hard. It's hard to find vocational teachers, and the expectations right now are quite high. So having some adjustments and alternative licensure pathways is really helpful to fill those positions. So happy to share more detail once the vote has gone through. So we don't have our student representative, but I wanted to congratulate Danielle Lewis, who was a finalist in the Massachusetts Poetry Out Loud program and competed in the state finals on Sunday, March 8th. At the State House. I know that she did not win, but I know that she did make fast friends with many students and had a really great experience. So congratulations to Danielle, wherever she may be today. I also wanted to congratulate our coordinator of special education, Courtney Rao-Rogers. She is now Dr. Courtney Rao-Rogers. She couldn't be with us today, but I wanted to shout out for her. She successfully defended her dissertation, which was entitled Social Emotional Learning in Middle Schools, a Descriptive Case Study of Program Implementation. And she completed her doctorate at the University of Alabama. So like I said, please join me in congratulating her when you see her. So thank you very much. That's all.
Any questions?
Just one, if that's all right, please. Sorry to hear the news about losing, a reduction in funding from the federal level based on census information. Do they use the federal census from 2020 or do they use the Massachusetts census, which I think gets updated this year?
The federal
Which-
census,
yeah.
I believe, 2020.
Yeah, that's the one that was done during COVID and showed 14,255 people on Nantucket and maybe a little off.
Yes, agreed. Agreed.
Esmeralda?
No questions.
Tim? I just have one about the licensure. I know you said you'll talk more about it, but when you say vocational, does that also include like music
No.
teachers and, okay,
No, those are academic.
okay. Thank you.
Sure.
All right. Moving on now to presentations and discussions of issues to the committee. And we begin with a Nantucket High School grade point average proposal with Hunter Bistany, Jake Clark, and Russell Simpson. So come on up, guys.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jake Clark.
I'm Hunter Bistany.
And I'm Russell Simpson.
Today, we're here to talk about the change in Nantucket High School's GPA weight system.
So I'll give some context. The grade point average is currently a very important metric used in college admissions screenings. We've looked at a couple of other models used by other schools throughout Massachusetts and on the Cape, such as Sandwich High School in particular, because they were just changed this past year. The goal is to align our school with regional academic norms while also preserving our institutional integrity.
At Nantucket Public High School, we currently have 3 levels of classes. We have college prep, which is CP, honors, and advanced placement, which is AP. And the current GPA system, it does not sufficiently show the difference between those levels of classes. And for example, as in a CP class, you could have up to 10 to 30 minutes of homework per night, while in an AP class, you could have 60 minutes to 120 minutes per night. Here's our purpose.
For the purpose of this change, we believe that the change will allow us to differentiate the coursework between college prep, honors, and advanced placement. We believe that aligning the GPA calculations with other high schools around the district and many colleges, it will help us accurately represent the work that we do in school. We believe that strengthening the academic transparency, it would also bring fairness to everyone.
So as you can see right now, for the current system, CPA would award a student 4.4 points. An honors A is 4.7 points and an APA is 5 points. So the differential is 0.3 points right now. In the proposed system, we're looking to increase that gap just by 0.2, making it a 0.5 differential. So CPA now in the proposed system would be worth 4 points, honors 4.5 points, and AP would be 5 points. So the 2 implementation approaches that we looked at were a multi-grade implementation, which is pretty much just going to do it throughout all of the all classes, freshman through senior right now, which is what Sandwich High School just did. Or for option B, which would just be to start with the incoming freshman class and then move forward. Does anybody have any questions? We would love to answer some.
Any questions? Vince?
Come back to me.
Okay. Esmeralda?
Not that I can think of right now, but thank you.
So Tim and I already heard this in policy, but do you have any additional questions?
I think it's interesting you guys came up with this,
Agreed.
and I think
Thank
it
you.
levels things out so that the harder work gets who better not.
I mean, we can say, as you know, Dr. Lepre and I support this. We think it's an excellent idea, and to bring us in with the other schools in the region, I think
appreciate
makes a
that.
lot of sense.
Thank you.
If I may, through the chair, I think first of all, to congratulate these gentlemen for doing the research and coming to school committee. It's a little scary, always come, I'm scared every day when I come up here. But I just have a question for you. What prompted you to make the change, to do the research?
Yeah, so after Q1, we looked at Aspen, which is where we see our GPA and stuff like that. And we realized that one of our friends was in a CP class and he had an A, and then Russell's in a AP English class and he got a B plus, and we realized that they got the same amount of points, and we were like, that's interesting. I mean, we know Russell is, working on like an essay a week or so. And then Patrick was laughing. He was like, I only had to do one essay the whole quarter. And we decided like, okay, we don't think that that's very fair. And we would like to, look into it and see if we can do something about it.
Great.
When if I
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Vince.
Thanks. So you were mentioning about how this might get rolled out and that it might start for, what did you say, incoming freshmen, or just like, what was it, sandwich and just go across the board. Is there any preference in that?
I mean, we would prefer to do A, but we also just looked into another option just in case anybody wanted to do that instead.
I'm just curious if changing point structure midstream, if that would cause complications for teachers and grading.
So we would preferably do it at the beginning of next year, so it wouldn't affect any teachers or anything like that. It would only affect Aspen, which is just like the informational like website for students.
Super.
If I may, the grading that teachers implement is numeric. So, and it's on a scale of 1 to 100. So it wouldn't affect them necessarily. It's the calculation that comes through with Aspen around grade point average. So
Perfect.
it wouldn't really be an issue for teachers.
Super.
Definitely.
Thank you.
If I can suggest to the committee that we put a vote at the next meeting for
Yes.
this approval. Great.
Absolutely. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And looking sharp, lads.
Next, we have the NES Parent Volunteer Initiative.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So, well, our tech wizard from NES is getting us. Yeah, that's. I'm Kim Kubish, the principal of Nantucket Elementary School, and with me is Jenny Williams. She is one of our school counselors, but she's also doing her administrative practicum with me this school year. And this was one of her pet projects. And Kim Albertson, our assistant principal. So before we flip the slides, I wanted to share that we embarked on this volunteer program after lots of discussion at last year's school council, but also to be in alignment with the district improvement plan, strategic objective 3, which is to nurture a culture of inclusion, collaboration, and communication. And then under that strategic objective, there is the strategic initiatives. And so this volunteer plan that we have is in alignment with 3.1, which is belonging and community to strengthen partnerships with all of the stakeholders. And also 3.2, which is cultivating a stronger sense of community. And then once you go through the dip, you get down to the school improvement plan. And this was our 4th goal, which was improved belonging through this volunteer program. So there were 5 steps
down. Where's the, where do I point it towards? See, we're trying.
You
If I
are,
were in a whole school meeting,
There
I'd
it is.
say, I made a mistake, am I still cool?
You're still cool.
You're still cool.
You are
Learn
still
from
cool.
mistakes.
So the way we began it was this summer. I, with the support of our curriculum directors, posted and staffed a summer position for a teacher to create bins for every grade level. One was literacy and one was math. And our goal was to put activities in there that would support student practice work on grade level standards, but to do that through at least 3 different levels for each of the activities. And they would be 1 to reinforce or practice, 1 to extend the grade level standard, and 1 to just maintain it. We then, once school got up and running at open house, through my monthly s'mores communication, through our open house survey, we gathered willingness measures for people who would be interested in volunteering. And then at our faculty forums, we had our staff weigh in on ways that they might use a volunteer. And so through that, we then came up with some different roles that volunteers could employ when they came to our school.
Microphone. Hi, and first of all, I wanted to say thank you to Kim for your mentorship and having me participate in this project. It's been a great step in my progress, so thank you. For step 3, we developed a volunteer tracker, which really helped us organize the data, collect the data, so I could keep track in real time, training status, queries that were coming in, people's availability, where they'd like to be placed, grade level information. It really helped us gather data on our participation levels in real time. And then we moved to step 4, the training session, which our school provided 3 in-person training sessions. And on top of that, we developed a digital presentation for ongoing participation that as we onboarded new participants, we could have a digital platform for them to receive information on training. From there, we in that training, we did some basic expectations, how to be a role in volunteering, what are our protocols for school, and how to support young learners. Then we moved to monitoring, which is that step is, as we're taking off in volunteering, we're tracking initial correspondence. Everything was centralized in this database so that, number one, I'm kind of serving as the centralized person right now, but that really allowed us to have one point person, and I could get all of the steps in place before having that handshake to the teacher, and making sure everybody was queried and all communications were done and they were trained. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And we're going to pass it off. Yeah.
So once our volunteers were vetted and queried and they've done their training with Jenny, these are the opportunities that they've done and we've seen live in our clusters and in our classrooms. Teachers are a part of this whole process as well.
Okay, so these are things to celebrate right here. So this is our volunteering so far mid-year by numbers. We currently have 57 active volunteers from our initial 86 interested volunteers. So we have completed 139 sessions in our school. And second grade has our highest engagement, which is an interesting data point. We have our greatest number of sessions served by a single volunteer, which doesn't even happen to be a parent. It's a community member, which that's an interesting data point too, and something to celebrate. So you can see some room to growth here. Our numbers pointing at interested volunteers at 86. with current onboarded active volunteers on the ground is 57. So we have some room to re-engage, see where people are at. Is there anything that's a barrier preventing them to coming in and actually volunteering? And also we had some great holiday support as well. So we had 31 people come in and offer volunteer support over the holidays. Oh, yes, it is. And so our next steps, which leads us to those, like I said before, we're going to re-engage and reach out. This is the mid-year point. We've sent out emails thanking our active volunteers. And we've also gathered feedback. So we're in the process currently of surveying our current active members to see what's working, what are some areas of improvement. And so far feedback has been wonderful. Volunteers are expressing that they're happy coming in, they're giving back, they're making impact. They really love the activities that are designed to be kits in our clusters that are ready to go. So groups of students can come in, either get supplemental support or extend their learning and be enriched. So it's just been a great activity so far to see so much involvement. And then, we'd love to have some more information. So we'd like to survey our teachers as well to see like how they're feeling about this. And then the third bullet point is that show appreciation step, which is so important to really say thank you to all those that are serving. We're continuing to get people that are interested in our school, and we'd love to keep that momentum. So we're really happy about this so far.
And I'll just kind of encapsulate the last 4 bullets. We will follow up at our appreciation luncheon and really talk with our volunteers to get some anecdotal feedback from them there. In addition, I smell another survey coming. We'll review their contributions and outcomes and look for them to highlight successes, but also offer us advice on how we might do this better or what else they think they could inform. When Kim was talking about the roles, I can't help but think just the other day, we had a pre-K parent come in and make these bracelets that the Bulgarian community wears and explain the importance of them, and then make that with all the kids in the pre-K. So it isn't just come and we'll give you something to do, but it's also come and share your expertise. Some other things we were thinking about is we need to do more surveys or do more re-engagement, possibly right after every trimester, and that will help us to pull in some people who maybe can't do it at the beginning of the year or the end of the year, but they could do it mid-year. So try to attract the seasonal volunteer interest. And then for sure, we want to keep I think we have 2 community members who are pretty regular in their attendance. So we just need to broaden our outreach by reaching out to all organizations on island to get some community people to come in and volunteer as well. Then, so if you look at the photos, love the frames. We do have permission for these friends, but there is a parent playing a game with kids up on the right side, and then pre-K parents supporting some of our pre-K friends there. And top left shows our bins that we have in the clusters for each grade level, the literacy one and the math. Any questions?
Thank you. Any questions, Vince?
No, it's just wonderful. I'm delighted to see it. Thank you.
Esmeralda? Yeah,
No questions, thank you.
Tim?
I think it's great. I mean, it's very nice to have these people involved, particularly around dealing with the finance committee.
So you have had volunteers in the past. So this is just that you have formalized it. now, which I think makes so much sense. And I do love the gratitude piece and that you're going to have a luncheon, because just to be able to, and then that increases the goodwill. I think it's awesome.
We had them and then COVID sort of took
Right.
everything away.
Of course.
And so now we're trying to bring it back, but we also want to be attentive to the needs of our students and really put that into place. So the formalization.
Mhm. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bravo.
And back together. We should say it's Twin Spirit Day and yes, I should have.
I love it. Or triplet.
All right, so I'm going to just tell you a little bit about what we've been doing at NIS. It is a little bit different when we move up to the higher grade levels, the third, fourth, and fifth grade. We're trying to have parents come in, the community members come in, and also really partner with community organizations to have them come in. So I think it's important for kids to see them and for them to see what's happening in the schools. So we do have a picture here of a community member with her dog coming in, and we do this on a weekly basis, sometimes for special events as well. But as we move forward, as Kim was talking about, oh, am I moving it forward or are you? There we go. Thank you. And the down, you said? All right. So we started this last year as a goal for us based on our parent and family survey that we had done the prior year. And again, we aligned it with the same goal for the district goal, the fostering a sense of belonging, community to strengthen partnerships with students, staff, families, and the wider community. And then we made that an NIS goal. And part of that goal had to do with the school council really responding to how do we make people aware of volunteer opportunities. It's not always that we know that every family is able to come and volunteer, but we want every family to know that they're welcome to and that there's opportunities. So we had 3 different steps that as a school council last year we were doing, and one of them was review and modify the process for increasing NIS volunteer opportunities in practice. Some of the steps that we took, we surveyed all the NIS teachers for volunteer needs. Definitely there are times when, excuse me, when teachers have a big need for volunteers to come in for certain events. And then sometimes we look at more regular volunteering. We reviewed the survey results specifically in the area of volunteering and belongingness and their feeling of welcomeness at NIS. And from that, we created 2 new communication tools, the volunteer brochure, and then the NIS opening day volunteer invitation letter. I think both of those are in your packet. The volunteer brochure, would you be able to click on that? I think that was an important piece that we decided that we needed to really help people know ways they could help, but also to answer some quick questions without having to have people take a lot of time to come in or take time off of work, but to see if this is something that they wanted to do. So we put some guidelines, we talked about confidentiality, we talked about the requirements to be a volunteer, and then what just the process would be. So this went home to every single family in our summer mailing list, along with the other paper that you have, which was sort of the letter introducing it, and then the application, which it was allowing families to say where they would like to volunteer and letting us know whether they had a query or not. And that gave us the opportunity in the office to look, to clear them, and then to pass that out to teachers and say, here's the interest, and is this something that you would be able to do? So Morgan, if you can go back to the presentation. So we created both of those and sent that out. And then in our September family newsletter, really highlighted volunteering at NIS with the volunteer application, the brochure links, and then a call for people to join our school council. And then a hard copy was provided at our October open house for people who may not have remembered over the summer that they received it, or they might have been new, or they might just not have got the mailing. So we had that out for everybody. Then what's happened is these are just some samples of volunteering opportunities that have happened this year. We had the grade 4 classroom. We have 2 different volunteers that come in. One comes in 2 days a week, one comes in once a week. They come in, they have really supported events and activities and learning with students. They might help individual students, they might sit with them, or they might do a whole group lesson to read a book or do something like that so the teacher can pull individual students. But these are pretty regular volunteers. Does it work well? There we go. The other thing that increased is the number of volunteers we had in the library. These volunteers come on a weekly or a bi-weekly basis. They support all aspects of the library, really including like shelving books, which does take quite a bit of time, weeding outdated copies under the guidance of our new librarian, preparing station material, and then some clerical work as well. And then we also had a retired librarian who was willing to come in and volunteer and also do some of that essential library circulation. Then we have special events like the orchestra. We had a concert, and so asking parents to come in and help with that, helping a parent, helping the kids tune their instruments, and then managing the students before the before the concert. Grade 3 kind of had an interesting volunteer opportunity with 08's art, which was a project that came in, worked with a class, helped them create an ad to advertise an art nature opportunity where the students were all invited to come and build stick art. They went out, saw the site before, then we invited people to come on a Saturday. A number of families came and participated, and then they have a camera there that they can watch kind of as the art sort of decomposes and changes based on nature. We obviously didn't predict the winter that we were going to have, so some of it was covered for a little bit of the winter, but it's exciting for them now to see that. And then they had a field trip, and they'll have another one to go and follow up. But that was really exciting for our students. Just a couple more examples. 5th grade has a volunteer come once a week to run an animal book club. So the kids have reading that they do in between the meetings. They come, they share the book, and they also have the dog there that helps them. Some of them, it helps them emotionally, but also it just helps encourage some of them to really do this reading. And then we did have, after a unit that we did in 4th grade, a helping others unit, we had community members volunteer to come in the classroom, talk about how they help people in the community. And then just a couple more, we had a chaperone field trip to Plymouth Plantation for our grade 3 classroom with a number of parent volunteers. We have field day coming up in June, and we are putting out again to parents that we would like volunteers for that. We have a number of parents that check that off, that's an interest of theirs. That's something that we have not done since COVID. We've been running it as a staff, but I think it's really important to have parents there and families there for students to see them, but also for them to get to see the kids enjoy kind of the end of the year. And then school council, we increased the number of volunteers that we had. We have five parent volunteers, 1 community volunteer, and then we had to match that as staff. And so staff was able to rise to that occasion, and we have 5 staff that joined as well. So we have 11 members of our student council or school council this year, which is significantly more than what we've had in the past. So just to kind of show a little bit, we had done our survey the first year that I was here as principal. That was the winter of 2024. And this is where we came up with the idea that this was something we wanted to work on. Basically, we had about 70.6% families were aware of volunteering opportunities. This time we did the survey just about a month ago, and we added that I'm aware of the opportunities to volunteer at NIS, and I feel welcome to volunteer. Our other survey had kind of, I feel welcome at NIS, and it was a little bit tricky to really tease whether that was to volunteer or just to come to the door or to come to events. So we separated that in this survey. And as you can see, we have an increase from 70.6% to 88.6% that are aware. Some are aware but not able to participate, but they are aware and feel like they know that they're welcomed.
Any questions?
Sure, if you don't mind,
No.
through the chair. What's the general profile for volunteers? It sounds like there's a lot of parents, but are there and other community members? And you mentioned retirees, and that's lovely. I'm just wondering, is there any particular group we could think about targeting? I'm thinking, oh, I don't know, maybe people from our island home or from Sherburne Common who might like to come and read stories or do that kind of thing. Is there?
I don't think we've had a lot of outreach to them in particular, but we do have, I would say, 2 of our steady volunteers, the ones that come, one comes 2 or 3 times a week and the other one comes once or twice a week. They are not associated with any student in this school, and our students love having them there because I do think that it kind of, I don't want to say grandmother kind of figure, it's important for kids because not all of them have that here. And so I think that is a great thing for us to be looking at and see. At this point, what we tend to do more for our island home or even Sherburne Commons is we reach out with, at Christmas or at Thanksgiving with cards for them. But I think it would be great if we started to see if they wanted to come in.
Nice. Esmeralda?
I had no questions.
Sounds like a great program.
Thank you.
It does. I think it's so wise to start off the year with that volunteer letter so that it's in parents' brains right away. I thought it was lovely, and the brochure as well. So
Thank you.
nicely
I
done.
appreciate it. Our school council did a lot of work. I was really happy with all they did.
If I may, through the chair, I want to thank both Mrs. Kubish and Ms. Janda because this was a goal for both of them in their school improvement plan. We've been wanting to build parent community connections, and this was a really concerted effort to make this work. So thank you both for taking it on this year. I just recently received a phone call from a resident at Sherburne Commons who was looking to set up something called homework helpers at Sherburne Commons, but I'm wondering if this might be a better opportunity for residents who are mobile and able to come to the schools to be part of a volunteer program at either of your schools.
That would be great.
I'll reach back out to this individual and see if that's something that can be arranged. Sherburne Commons does have a van that can transport residents, so they could set up a time and potentially work with.
We could set up something in the cluster or something in the library and then have students be able to either stay maybe from that 2:30 dismissal time on would be great, or even if we looked at other times during the day, even having students come down from classes to do that. I think that would be
Fantastic.
better.
All right, well, you'll hear from me soon.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's see what MAP winter 2026 results.
I'm going to just get that.
Great.
All right, thank you, everyone. Everyone knows that this is Dr. Bardsley's Super Bowl, so you know that if she's not here tonight, she is extremely very sick. So I am going to do my best to talk about the math data as well as the ELA data tonight. But I will speak for both of us and Dr. Hallett that we are extremely proud of all of our students and all of our teachers because they have been taking this very seriously this year and have been engaged in, I know the principals will attest to it, every single second of their PD time has been taken by math, ELA, or math and ELA. So everybody is really taking the growth for the math and reading very seriously this year. So thank you to everybody in the room for that support and to the teachers and the students for working hard on this. I already lost the thing. All right. Okay, so we'll talk about the reading followed by the math, the growth in the achievement, the quadrants by grade and by class, and special populations and demographics. A lot of these slides are repetitive of what we do every single time when we do the MAP presentation. So I will take you through those slides, so just bear with me, but you can feel free to interrupt and ask questions as you're going along so that the data is clear for everyone. So here is our first slide, always our instructional vision. And this is a slide you've seen multiple times, just outlining what we're doing as we move through the school year. Here is our assessment system showing you the state at the very top, which is our MCAS. That's how we measure that. Our district, which is the green, or interim benchmark assessments, which is our MAP. And then our classroom assessments at the bottom, which is our purple, which we consider our formative and summative assessments. And we're talking about tonight the MAP, the green. So just the terms to review the terms that we talk about for MAP testing, the growth percentile. This is a ranking based on the growth norms, and the graph will show you the median or the middle percentile for the group of students. The achievement percentile is the ranking for MAP for the achievement in one testing term, and that will show you the middle or the percentile for that group of students. The norm we're looking for is the 50th percentile, and then the median is the middle value. And then the 50th percentile represents a typical achievement or typical growth based on the MAP. So you can see here, it just shows you what our quadrant report looks like. So you can see in the top right is high achievement, high growth. The top left is low achievement, high growth. Bottom left is low achievement and low growth. And the bottom right is high achievement and low growth. And that's where we want them to be. We want them to be at the high achievement, high growth, 50th percentile for typical growth and achievement. I think maybe the bells and whistles messes up the slide transition. Morgan, can you forward me? So we'll start with NES, go into NIS, and then end with CPS. So here are the rainbow graphs, as I like to call them. And this is showing you on the top, the graph is 24 to 25 for the entire Nantucket Public Schools, which is kindergarten through 8th grade. And it's showing you on the top row is we're in the 57th percentile for growth and the 47th percentile for achievement. So we're hitting our target for growth and just a little bit underneath for achievement. But if you look at for 25, 26, we are hitting both targets. And you can see clearly that we are 61st percent for growth and 50th percentile for achievement. Or I'm sorry, yes, for achievement. So we have increased by 7 points. Uh-oh. It's okay.
So while we've stopped.
Yes.
So this growth is reading specifically.
This is ELA specifically.
Right, okay.
And just a reminder that our MAP testing is adaptive. So the kids can keep going as high as they possibly can until they ceiling out.
Mm-hmm.
So it keeps getting increasingly harder.
Thank you.
All right, perfect. Oh, there we go. This is actually a new graph that Mandy created. And if you look at the diamonds, that's where we're supposed to be. If the column is up above it, we are actually performing better than where we are supposed to be. So RIT growth is on the left and then the grade level is on the bottom. And RIT growth, I like to explain that as like a measuring stick. So it's measuring the success of the students, not necessarily by the grade level. So it's like when you measure your kids when they're growing. So it's showing you how they are getting better over time. So you can see there that we are above in almost all categories.
Just a question
Oh,
on that.
go ahead.
Through the chair, if that's okay.
Yes.
The diamonds, are they a range or are they meant to be a spot on number?
They are, the RIT growth are, that is the spot on number. That
okay.
is on the side, it's the grade level norms for the
Perfect.
percentile. Yes.
So there's no data on seventh graders?
They just weren't up over the line.
I see.
Yeah.
It's also kind of interesting. There's a decrease as you progress through grades.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. And that could be because the growth is less because there's less to grow also. So
Sure.
if you scored very high in the beginning, your growth isn't going to be as high as it would be. So essentially the achievement would be higher, but the growth would be lower. That makes sense. Okay, so this is the quadrant report and it's showing you that the winter of 2025, where we were pretty much on the left side, and now we are moving almost completely over where we want to be. Well, we are completely over where we want to be in the right side for winter 2026. So we're in the high achievement, high growth quadrant where we want to be. We are engaged, as Beth mentioned earlier, in the PRISM grant and the landscape analysis through that PRISM grant that has given us some PD. Also, we're going to be piloting a couple of literacy programs. Also, both Kims have been really focused on phonics and phonemic awareness structures in the school. And I think we're seeing some really good results on that. And the teachers are really implementing the programming with fidelity.
So a question on this
Sure.
one, through the chair, if I
Yeah,
may.
of course.
So in the winter 2025, just for the sake of ease of understanding, the grade ones would then be the grade twos in winter
You got it,
2026.
yes. So if you're looking at cohorts, grade 1 in 2025 is now grade 2 in 2026.
Mhm. So that they did improve.
They
They
did.
got to the good side of the lines.
They did. And so this is NES, this is a rainbow graph, winter growth and achievement. So if you're looking at this, if you're looking at all grades, we are in the 59th percentile for growth and the 50th for achievement. So right where we want to be. And for kindergarten, 66th percentile for growth and 54th for achievement. For first grade, 63rd for growth and 44th for achievement. And then for grade 2, we are 53rd for growth and just a little bit under for achievement at 48th percentile. And now we are off to NIS. So looking at NIS, you're looking at the left for the winter of 2025 and the right for the winter of 2026. And you'll see that they were all in the right in winter of 2025 and mostly all in the right in winter of 2026. This is year 1 of implementation of our high quality instructional materials for NIS. And if you're looking at the rainbow graph, you're looking at all grades on the top, 62nd percentile for growth, 47th for achievement. For 3rd grade, 61st for growth, 34th for achievement. For 4th grade, 54th for growth and 49th for achievement. And 5th grade, 72nd for growth and 54th for achievement. And we are off to CPS now. So if you're looking at CPS in the winter of 2025, they were all in the right side. If you remember, we didn't test 8th grade last year, but we did test 8th grade this year so that we are consistent. So in the winter of 2026, you'll see that everyone is in the green on the right, except for 1 grade level, which is just a little bit below the line, the lower growth and lower achievement section. And the rainbow graphs are just telling you the same story in a different way. So for all grades, growth and achievement are checked off. So 62nd percentile for growth and 55th for achievement. For 6th grade, we're in the 63rd percentile for growth and 49th for achievement. For 7th grade, we're in the 48th percent for growth but the 55th percentile for achievement. And then the bottom for 8th grade, we are in the 72nd percentile for growth and the 60th percentile for achievement. And we are off to math. So the same graphs here for math as we showed you for ELA. So 2024 to 2025 is on the top and 2025 to 2026 is on the bottom. And if you're looking at these graphs, what we want to see is the red lines going down. So if you notice on the top, the 53rd percentile was 15%, and then on the bottom, the 66th percentile, just 8% in the red there. And as the red gets smaller, the blue gets bigger. That is the goal. And an achievement increased by 4% over the last winter, and then the growth increased by 13. I think it did it again. Oh, one more. Okay, here is our new chart showing you the RIT growth and the grade. So the RIT's on the left side and the grade is on the bottom, and you'll see again the same explanation. The diamond is where we want them to be, and then the bar is where we actually are. And we're looking at this one, we are looking at the winter of 2025 for NES. And on the left is showing our second year of curriculum implementation for Reveal Math. And on the right is our third year of curriculum implementation for Reveal. So you'll see that we have moved all the way up to the right quadrant. And here is our rainbow growth. So for all grades, for growth, it's 66th percentile and 52nd percentile. For kindergarten, we're at the 74th percentile and the 51st percentile for achievement. And for first grade, we're at the 74th percentile for growth and 47th percentile for achievement. And for second grade, 55th percentile for growth and 62nd percentile for achievement. And here is NIS by grade, and you'll see that they were all in the green in the winter of 2025, except for one grade level, and that was a year 2 of the curriculum. And then in the winter of 2026, they are all in the right hand quadrant. That 4th grade is right on the line. And the rainbow graphs show you the same thing in a different way. So for all grades, 66th percentile for growth, 48th for achievement, for 3rd grade, 74th percentile for growth and 41st percentile for achievement. Grade 4, 53rd% for growth and 53rd for achievement. And then looking at grade 5, you'll see that they are 82nd percentile for growth and 52nd percentile for achievement. So now we're moving on to CPS, and we're looking at the winter of 2025, which was their first year of curriculum implementation compared to the winter of 2026, which is their second year. You'll see that there were a lot in the right quadrant in 2025, and now everybody is in the right quadrant in 2026. Looking at the rainbow graph, you can see that the growth in all grades is the 63rd percentile and the 49th percentile for achievement. Grade 6 is the 59th percentile for growth and 42nd for achievement. Grade 7 is at the 53rd percentile for growth and 56th percentile for achievement. And grade 8 is at their 73rd percentile for growth and 49th percent for achievement. And this is a really interesting graph that we decided to add this year. This is showing math intervention. Mandy's been working really hard on the intervention at the elementary level using Delta Math RTI. And if you take a look at this, it shows you the grades on the left. It shows you the numbers of students in tier 3 intervention. It's showing you the percent of students who met or exceeded their projected growth. And then the students who moved out of the bottom 40th percentile, which is our yellow column in the middle there. And then the percent of students with growth in the 60th percentile higher, and then the average growth percentile. So it's a pretty powerful slide showing how our intervention is working for our students.
Forgive the question. Why is the second grade divided?
I don't know why that is divided. I think maybe, do you know the answer to that?
I don't. Perhaps there are Is it a separate intervention to, yeah, two different teachers?
Do you think it,
I think those are, they would be combined, but I'm wondering if it's a different rotation. Because they do move kids in and out of cycles. So
that could have been the first rotation and the second rotation, but I can have Dr. Bardsley clarify that. Okay, so the special populations and demographics. She's listening. Oh, two interventionists. Okay, so they're grouped with two different teachers.
Please text her to say thank you.
Tell her it was a quiz. All right, so the special populations and demographics. So this is showing you the average observed growth compared to the growth of all students. So if you're looking at the special population subgroup, it's listed as L, students with disabilities, Black, African American, Hispanic, Latino, and white. And it shows you the math and then the reading growth for those students. Okay, any questions?
Any questions? Vince?
I asked plenty along the way. I'm good.
Okay, Esmeralda?
No questions. Thank you.
Tim?
I want to look at the rainbow graphs later,
The what?
the rainbow graphs.
Oh, okay. They're my favorite.
I don't have any questions. Thank
Okay,
you very
perfect.
much.
Can I I just wanted to make a comment if I could.
Yes.
I wanted to just thank people. This has been wonderful to see growth. It's it means that the hard work that our teachers are doing and our curriculum is working. The rubber's hitting the road, and that feels really good to see that. I did want to mention something that I found out recently about the grade 7 data for reading. Turns out that the teacher at the time was away for professional development during the 2 days that math testing occurred, and potentially that the substitute teacher didn't put a lot of effort into getting students to stay on task while they were testing. We don't know. It's hard to tell whether or not that has anything to do with it, but I did find that out. So it could be that it
Well, it is
affected the
interesting.
scores.
Yeah, that there's no data on that.
It is very notable to see that the 5th grade math was, what was it, 83rd percentile? That was unreal.
79 or something
79,
like
yeah,
that.
it was
yes.
up there. It was outstanding there to be congratulated.
And keeping in mind that they've had the curriculum in place for those 3 years, so you're really seeing that implementation work.
It's a valuable benchmark test that I'm very glad that we utilize. It's because of the national norming, and it's everyone's to be commended. This is a really great to see growth and achievement improving. So, thank you.
Yes. All right. Committee discussions and votes to be taken. Yes.
Already voted last meeting.
Okay. Okay, thank you. All right. So we will start with a vote to approve the high school's overnight field trip to Boston, Massachusetts for the Poetry Out Loud State Finals, March 7th and 8th.
So
Did I miss something?
My mistake.
Sorry. May I have a motion to approve?
Esmeralda made a motion.
So
Second? All in favor?
All right.
Vote to approve the December 16th, 2025 meeting minutes.
so moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Vote to approve transfers and invoices.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we do not have our student council representative here tonight. But I know there are some things coming up. The high school musical is this weekend. Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. One of my favorites.
If I may, spring sports will be starting on March 23rd, excuse me. So everybody's gearing up for that, and hopefully we'll have a field that we can play on for lacrosse. A little muddy right now.
Indeed. Subcommittee work group report. Anyone have anything
Yep.
to report? Great.
So progressing with the teacher contract negotiations, and I just want to reach out and say thank you to the teachers for the very productive and supportive conversations to date. It's been going
Nice.
well. Cross our fingers and hope for the best. And again, thank you to the teachers and to the union, of course.
That's great.
If I may, through the chair, I want to share that there has been a date scheduled for the Old Colony, or actually Cape Cod Collaborative Legislative Breakfast. So that is going to be on April 13th. I think that's a Monday.
It is.
So Esmeralda, if you're able to attend, that's great. But if not, anyone else on the committee is able to attend, I can accompany you. It's usually begins at 9 o'clock. Our legislators are here. They will be there and answering any or all questions. We also have an opportunity through MASC to spend what they call a day on the Hill, which is an opportunity to stay at the State House, meet with our representatives, and that will be on March 30th.
30th.
And I believe that Laura and Vince will be joining me on that.
And that breakfast, if I may add, is really informative. It's great.
On that note, I have been attending the Cape Cod Collaborative meetings. We had one last month. I forgot my notes, but we do have one tomorrow.
Oh, great.
So, and I've been attending via Zoom.
Mm-hmm. Great. And we had a policy meeting where the young men presented. And I think that's it. Agenda for the next meeting.
Yes. We will be reviewing our district improvement plan, action plan year 3. We'll do a mid-year update on that, how things are moving along with our goals. Project 351 will be here. We'll have some students and the advisor for Project 351, which is always great. We will have a central registration review. Every few years, we have our central registrar come and share the policies and procedures and kind of what the trends are these days. And we will address the policy updates that we have spoken about and worked on in the policy subcommittee. So for now, that's what we've got.
Great. All right. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Do we have an idea for travel on the 30th? I know you